Hello everyone, I'm just popping in for a second before the video starts to let you know that you can buy my brand new book, Music to My Ears, from Amazon, and I can now officially say that this book has broken the world record for the longest book written by a child. I will be getting a certificate soon, but before that happens, you're probably one of the first people to know about it before it becomes public. So now let's get on with the video. I'll put some links in the description below. You would not believe just how many responses I got to this community post that I put out a couple of months ago, asking for submissions for some interesting experiences on public transport. Not just interesting, but they could be rare, fun, strange, or even annoying experiences that people have had on public transport. And yes, I received about 25, although I had to remove 3 of those because they had no submission at all for some reason. Some of them were empty. Anyways, I'm going to check out the first one, which was received from an anonymous person. They said, once I was on a class 377 and the driver left the back door of the cab open. That did not end well, so I saw 3 teenagers going inside. Very rebellious, very rebellious. That could have ended not very well. Pressing all the buttons, and they found the announcements button and they started to say rubbish in the announcement, like bad words. They were saying bad words in the announcement? That sounds terrible. Imagine sitting on a train and all of a sudden it goes bing bong and you hear swear words, and yeah, that must have been not a very pleasant experience. I hope that doesn't happen again. It was so weird, and it took 10 minutes for the staff person to find them after, since they were hiding on the train. So they go inside the cab, they make weird announcements, and then they hide on the train, and then the member of staff finds them. What a terrible way to spend your day, to get caught by a member of staff for walking into a cab and making announcements. Number 2 was received from Zach Murray. So one day, I was up in London for the weekend. Hi there! And there were no strikes or delays, and everything was going fine. Sounds awesome. Also, we thought there's a but in there. There's always a but. Because we were in the waiting room at Clapham Junction and we heard, due to a signal problem at Queenstown Road, there will be major delays, not minor, major delays, to South Western Railway services due to the South West Main Line and all services out of Waterloo. So the train we were supposed to catch ended up being 15 minutes late, and another announcement came. 15:43 service to Alton has been cancelled. And it went on and on about cancellations to trains on our line, but then eventually, after an hour and a half of waiting, there was a train that wasn't cancelled, so we waited and it wasn't cancelled, so then it came, but it was going like 50 miles per hour. That is a little bit unfortunate. There must have been like a train standing in front that was slowing it down. And then it passed the station, and then the dispatcher was saying about how the train should have stopped, and it was wrong of the driver to do that. Overall, a pretty bad experience, and I hated it. I'm sorry that you had to go through that, and I hope that everything went well and that you managed to get home or wherever you were going to on time. That didn't make sense, sorry. My next submission is from Transport Guy. It says, once I was on the Victoria line and the announcements kept on saying the next stop will be Brixton about 20 times. I've had this happen on a bus once where it was just saying random stops, just for like 5 minutes straight. It was really annoying, but very funny. Basically, this person is saying that it just continued saying it for like 2 minutes. And they were thinking, what is wrong with this train? And the announcements apparently kept on glitching. Mega bad. That's interesting. It does happen sometimes. By the way, I will definitely be doing this another time, so if I haven't included your submission, it'll probably be next time. Once me and my friend were bus spotting, and the driver came up to us and said, "Why are you taking pictures of me?" We told him we were only taking pictures of the bus, and he said, "Get out of here now, or I will throw your phone so hard on the ground." And I'm not lying, so get out of here now. Wow, that is crazy. And my friend was like, "This has to be one of the worst drivers ever." I can imagine that must have gotten really out of hand if a driver was reacting in that way. Obviously, it's fine, you're just taking pictures of the bus and not of the driver. So I think the driver probably overreacted a little bit, and this does happen a lot, but I've never heard of a driver or a member of staff speaking in this manner. Ron the transport enthusiast. Once I was on the tube and the lights turned off and the train stopped. The displays just said Northern Line. That must have been a very scary experience. I can imagine. The carriage was silent. Sounds like a scene for a horror film. The driver put an announcement on and said, "We apologise for this delay." Sorry, no, I need to do this properly. "We apologise for this delay. I'll be getting back to you shortly." It was so loud, and some kids said, "My ears hurt." Everyone started laughing because it was so silent with only a few whispers. And then the lights turned on and the train started moving. I've heard from lots of people about these kinds of situations where lights turn off, probably because of shortage of power, or you had a power cut. So it does happen sometimes. And I hope that it wasn't too scary. This submission I've read beforehand, and it's just such a heartwarming story. It's from somebody who's anonymous, and this is what their experience was. It's called "Kindness Goes a Long Way." The year is 2021. I'm on my way back from Birmingham New Street to London Euston. Brentwood had just played against Aston Villa, and we had just 9 coaches of Pendolino instead of the booked 11 car. It was packed. I was standing by the buffet area, crowded around football fans. I'm usually quite strong mentally, but this wasn't my match. It's not my match either. The train manager appeared out of their office, and I asked, "Could I pay for standard premium? It's really busy here." His reply, "Coach K is all yours. No need to pay." That's such a nice thing to do. Once we arrived into Birmingham International, I walked down the platform and got back onto the train in Coach K, a first-class carriage. What an amazing train manager. I had a lovely journey back into Euston thanks to him. I hope that you had a great day. This submission is from somebody who I know personally and who has been featured on this channel. Say hello to Matty Has Games. Okay, so this was my second time in London during Christmas of 2019. I'm American, by the way. And I was riding the London Underground one day for 3 hours. As usual, I'm sure if you come over all the way from America, you really want to spend a lot of time on the tube if you're a train enthusiast, because the tube is brilliant. So at one of the stations, either Waterloo or Westminster, on the Jubilee line, there were 4 guys dressed in elf costumes, and they looked really drunk. Oh my goodness, I can imagine just how hilarious that must have been. I'm just standing there in the train by the doors, and as the doors closed, I see this one elf guy run in, missing the doors, but when I turned around, there was the second guy. He was stuck with one foot in between the train doors and another in between the platform doors. The other 2 guys behind him were laughing. They started to try to pry the doors back open as the driver just kept them closed to make fun of them. Eventually, and somehow, the second guy made it in, and we went on our normal way. Insignificant but hilarious story that I tell everyone. It's very, very, very significant. And you see lots of this happening on the tube where you have people walking on last minute. I have to make my own contribution based on this story. It's inspired me to tell you. When I was heading to the Shard for a trip with family, there was a Jubilee line train pulling in, and as the doors were closing, somebody ran in and tried to hold the doors apart and then held the door open and waited for the other person to come along. And I'm like, where's the rush? What are you doing? On the opposite platform there was another train just arriving. And I'm like, couldn't you just wait and catch that without having all of this fuss of holding the doors open? And it was a very crowded train, so you could have just waited for the next one. Lots of anonymous people in this episode. Back in the days of having little paper seat reservation tickets sticking out of the top of the seats, one of my teachers was taking a group of us down to London for a school trip. Sounds lovely. However, instead of booking the reservations for the 20 of us under Mr. Bruce, he mistyped and booked them under Mr. Brute. That's probably one of the worst typos you could get, and it ended up sticking as a nickname for a while afterwards. I kind of feel sorry for that teacher, but I can imagine it was hilarious. You end up on the train and you have the reservation Mr. Brute. Interesting name. Okay, so we only have a couple of video submissions where people have stuck in a link into the description. So I'm just going to copy and paste this link, which is from Denzel's World. Hi, Denzel's World. He has featured me in one of his videos when I was at Brent Cross West. He interviewed me for just a second. So thank you for sending in this submission. I'm copying and... Oh, that's nice. It's from the Bank Station video. Okay, let's watch this.
Oh, here we are. God, I can hear the... Jesus.
Yeah, you do get a lot of ghostly sounds on the underground. That is it for today. That is half of the submissions that I received. Next time around when I get to do a Riku Reacts video. By the way, check out the playlist that will be popping up in a second with other videos. Next time around when I get to doing it, I'll feature the rest. There's about 12 left, but I'm sure that by that time there'll be many, many more. Thank you so much to everyone who sent in their submissions. I hope you have a good day. Thanks for watching. Press subscribe and like. Happy 2024.